Hi there, welcome to our very first Plants Doctor video. As you might know, we love plants and the more plants the better, right? Today we are going to make some new plants by propagating, so we thought we would bring you along and show you how to take cuttings and propagate your houseplants. By the way, you can find all the tools and plants that I have used in the description below. Propagating plants is the process of growing a new baby plant through your full-grown plants. It's super fun to do and a perfect way to fill all the empty spaces in your house with little baby plants. With the right care, they will grow into beautiful big houseplants. Besides that, it's super affordable and easy to do. There are so many ways to propagate plants. The way that you choose depends on the plant. Today I'm going to show you how to propagate 4 of our top star plants. We will start with the beautiful hanging plant behind me, the Philodendron Scandens Micans. The other ones we are going to propagate are the popular Pilea or Pancake plants, the Monstera Deliciosa with those big beautiful green leaves, and lastly this very easy to care for plant, the Sansevieria. Let's get into it! The Philodendron Scandens Micans is one of my personal favorites. She has beautiful heart-shaped leaves that feel almost velvety, as you can see. She's super easy going and doesn't require much attention. Super cool about this plant is that you have to cut the stems to encourage the new growth. This helps the plant to become full and bushy and let her leaves trail down or climb up. You can use those trimmings to create a new baby plant. Make sure to cut it with a sharp and clean pruning shear. You can clean your tools with alcohol. This prevents plagues and bugs being spread onto other plants when you're using the tools. Always remember to clean your tools also after using them. First we have to find the nodes on the stem. I will show you how they look. A node is actually just any point where a leaf is coming out from the stem. Like this and this. To propagate the plant, you will have to cut about 1 centimeter up or down from a node, like this. Make sure to take a cutting where aerial roots are growing. The aerial roots are the point where the roots are going to pop out from. We now have a head cutting, which we let dry for a couple of days. This way a scab will form on the place of the cut, which reduces the chance of your cuttings rotting. After a few days you can place the cutting in water to root further. I prepared a cutting a few days ago, so we can move on to the next step. I have these propagation stations with these little cuttings, with their nodes and roots fully underwater. It's important that the water is not too cold. Once this is done, all you have to do is to be patient. Make sure to check in every other day to see if the roots and nodes are still underwater. Also, it's very important to refresh the water once a week. Place your cuttings in a warm and bright spot. After growing their roots for a while, you can place the cuttings in soil. The roots have to be at least a couple of centimeters. When you are potting your cuttings, you have to take in mind that the Scandens Micans just came out of the water, so they like it when the soil is moist. The pancake plant is pretty easy to propagate, but the way to do it is quite different than I have shown before. In this case, we don't have to look for any nodes. Instead of that, we take the mother plant and look for small baby plants that are coming out of the soil around it. Do you spot it here? They grow completely separate from the mother plant, what makes it perfect to propagate. Let's dive right in it, shall we? It's best to take a baby that's already above the ground. Then you don't have to take the whole plant out of the pot. You can just cut the baby loose from the plant. Take away a little bit of the soil around the baby and then cut the plant with a sharp and clean shears. This plant you can just transplant straight into some cutting soil and create a whole new mini plant that eventually will have babies of her own. This is the easiest way to propagate your pancake plant. Moving on to this big beauty. The Monstera is a very popular plant which many households own. If you're a real plant geek or more of an interior lover, the Monstera is a favorite go-to plant. Today I will show you how to propagate this green beauty, so that you can have more of this fast-growing plants for your home. The most important thing when propagating a Monstera is that you need to know where to cut it. With this plant you will also look for the node, and with the plant we have here, the node is where you see two stems coming out of a single sort of junction. The other way that you can see what a node is that there is a root already coming out from it. We call this the aerial root, like this. Now that we have found the node, let's move on to cutting. To cut this Monstera, you will need a larger pruning shear or a clean and sharp knife. Make a cut just about 2 centimeters below the node, like this. Now there are two options on how to propagate. One of them is to put it straight into a big vase of water and wait till it gives you some roots before transplanting it into soil. Super easy and also very decorative. The other way to propagate your Monstera is to put it straight into soil. This is a perfect way for the plant lovers who are very impatient, just like myself. So here we go. For this cutting, the aerial roots don't have to be super long, so if needed, you can cut them. I'm adding some soil to the pot and create a big hole in the middle so we can put this new beauty into the soil. I'm tucking in this aerial root and voila, that's pretty much it. A super easy way to create a new plant. You can give her a plant stake for support and top it off with a big splash of water, because that is what she likes. So the last plant that we're going to propagate is the Sansevieria, also known as the Queen's Tongue. This plant is probably the easiest to propagate and to take care of. There are two ways to propagate. One requires a little more patience than the other. The first way is propagating from leaves. So if you have a Sansevieria with a bended or broken leaf, like I had, you can save the leaf and create a new plant out of it. Cut the leaf with a sharp knife of pruning shears and place into water for a while. I have put my leaf in around 2 months ago and look at all those roots that are coming out. It takes a while, but now you have the perfect cutting that's ready to become a grown plant. Another way of propagating the Sansevieria is by tearing. This way is a little bit the same as we did with the Pancake plant. A Sansevieria grows its strong roots and leaves deep into the potting soil, with all leaves having separate roots. Start by removing the plant from the pot and carefully dig away some potting soil around the roots. Tear off the leaves you want to cut like this. Try to damage the roots as little as possible. This feisty lady has super strong roots that you can immediately put back into a new pot with potting soil. Give her a little water and your cutting is complete. A little heads up on this strong beauty, she doesn't like too much water, so be careful with watering her. Let her soil dry out a bit before giving her some more. So these are the 4 plants that we have propagate today. Hopefully you have learned something from this fun activity and maybe we have inspired you to start propagating your own plants. This is also the perfect time of the year to get started, with spring coming up and the days are getting longer and warmer. I think that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, you can give a thumbs up. And if you have any propagation questions or tips, you can let us know in the comments. Also, I have linked all the tools that I have used below in the description. Thanks for watching and hope to see you soon on the next video. Bye for now!